What's up YouTube? In this video, I'm going to show you how you can programmatically generate unlimited content and post it to whatever tool, website, CMS platform you like and in whatever format you like. You should be able to publish at least the first 10,000 free, and I'll show you how to do that step by step. And if that sounds good, keep watching because this is going to be very cool. Okay, so this is the process. Step one, we're going to programmatically generate our content at scale with a free script. That's nice and easy. Second, we're going to tweak our free CMS website template that I will provide to you, and we're going to prep it ready to import 100 or 100,000 articles. The third step, and this was by far the most challenging in this project, we set up a folder structure that will listen for files that are generated from our script here. And when they land in this folder, they will automatically post into our database of our website, and using dynamic pages, the web page will be instantly created and it will look amazing. So why would we do all this? Well, this process can be used to generate clicks on your website, and those clicks can be converted into a revenue stream that can be very high margin. A couple of things we need to do as prerequisites. If you don't have Python installed on your machine, just head to python.org, go to downloads and grab it for your operating system. Second thing we need to do is grab Visual Studio Code. Next, we need to grab our AI Auto Blogger code. The way we get that is head to the Ambitious Hub and click on this one here, the nice bright 10,000 plus free blogs, Programmatic Auto Blog. Once you click on that, you'll get taken to a page that looks just like this. You've arrived at Bitbucket. There's a couple of things we need to go through. First of all, you do not need an account. Once you get here, you can copy anything in here and you can head off and make this happen. Next thing, we want to look at the README file. Now, this is a readme.markdown file, so I'll just open it up. And what you're going to see is in here is pretty much everything I'm going to run you through today. So I'm not going to read through it now. This will be your go-to place if it's not covered in detail in the video. Next, there are 3 Python files here. And what you'll notice is the naming convention here is important depending on what you want to do. And I'm going to go into a bit more detail of this in a minute. But basically, this one here is going to generate a text file. It's also going to generate an image, which is actually a PNG. It's going to generate a PDF, but it's going to do it randomly. Next, this one does a text file, an image, PDF. It's going to generate all our content in a sequential, methodical order. And the next one here, the final one, it just generates a text file and a PDF, and it does it in sequential order. So if you want to grab any of the code, you just click on the .py file and you can just copy this. And this is what you'll paste into Visual Studio in a minute. In today's video, I'm going to use this one here because I don't need the image the way I'm going to generate this, and I do want it to run in sequential order. So we're just about ready to jump into Visual Studio. There's just one more thing to cover off. If you see this folder here, it's called Downloads. There is one thing we need to add to our Visual Studio folder that's going to have our project in it, and that is this file here. It's Deja Vu Sans Condensed.ttf, and this is because when we generate PDFs, it can have special characters, and this file allows it to not crash, which is important. We don't want that. To get set up in Visual Studio Code, once you've got it installed in Python, first thing you want to do is go to the downloads and grab that file I talked about, which is this file here, Deja Vu Condensed.ttf, and just drag and drop it over into your folder here. Then you want to create one of these files. Now, I would suggest maybe start with this one first, the AI-text-pdf-sequence.py. So to create the file, just go to this little icon here, new file, click it, give it the file name, and then head over to Bitbucket, click on this one, and literally just copy it and paste it. That's all this is. But if you get stuck and you cannot work this out for some reason, jump over to the channel page and scroll down, and you'll see this playlist here, Python SEO tools. Now, all of these videos have much more detailed setup of Python and Visual Studio Code because I've done this multiple times. So if you get stuck, check them out, and you'll be on your way. Now that's done, what we want to do is go and have a look at our README file and just make sure we're working our way through the list properly. If I scroll down a bit, we're up to about here. So before running the code, you need to install the required Python packages. So we need to do the pip install on all of these modules. Alrighty, so just at the terminal, all you need to do is just copy each one of these, paste it there, and then just hit enter. And do that for every one of these before you do anything else. Okay, with that done, I can go full screen here. So with all the prerequisites done, now we can take a look at the code itself. So what we have here, and don't worry too much about this, is called an establishment, this is a city, and this is an audience. It does work for this scenario here, and depending on what you're doing, these variables can be set as something very different. What's important though for this piece of code is that the way it's going to work is, if we scroll down here a little bit, we can see we've got the three variables. And what's going to happen when it runs, it'll go through the first one. So it's going to say the best, whatever the first establishment is in the city for this audience. So basically it's going to say the best things to do in the Galapagos Islands for families. And this code, because it's set in sequence, it's going to iterate its way through every single one of them until it gets to the end, which is around 11,000. But because that could be a bit dangerous, what we do have down a little bit further is this here. So max articles. Now, if I set this to 12,000 and then run it, it will actually iterate its way through all of these, and it'll take around 6.9 days to actually complete, because it's a lot of content. But nevertheless, that's what will happen. So if we want to take a look at this and see what it looks like, we can execute the code. Let's run this for this one here. So it's going to generate a text file, an image, a PDF, and it's going to do it in sequence. So things to do in the Great Barrier Reef for families is what we should get. Okay, just a quick interruption here. If you do need some specific help with your business, whether it's SEO, Python, web development, check out this page. There will be a link in the description, and it details a whole bunch of things that maybe I can help you out with. If we go down a little bit further, if you want to see what the prompt is doing and how it works, just take a look at these lines here, line 95 through to 100. So it's using GPT, the 3.5 turbo model. And the system has been assigned a role. It's basically an SEO content writing expert. You can read the whole prompt there if you like. And the formatted title, that's basically the string that gets put together. So the activity in the city and for, families, whatever. And that is how it works. The next bit to quickly just run past is it uses the DALL-E 3 image generation. So it's going to produce a 1792 by 1024 image. And the only other thing we need to just check is that we're running this for just the one, not 10,000. If I can find it here. So max articles 1. Perfect. All right. Now we can run it. Easiest way, I'm just going to copy the file name here. So just run Python and the file name and go. Okay, so you can see that that file has run. So it did exactly what we expected. And if we go over here, this is the text file. Here is the image. That looks pretty cool. And we can't actually view the PDF, but what we can do is just open that in a PDF viewer. So this is the article. You can see it's around 3 pages, and it runs through all of the great things you can do on the Great Barrier Reef, and it comes with an image. So depending on which Python file you choose, you can get a different combination of different outputs. I've generated a couple of others just to take a quick look at. So this was one of the ones that ran for the best things to do in Bali, Indonesia for families. There's a couple of others here. This is the best bars in New York for families. And what else have we got? Oh, and this is the other version you can do that doesn't come with an image. So that's what it will look like. Just referring back to our diagram here to stay on track, we have completed step 1. So we can give that a tick. Next, let's go over to step 2 here. We're going to select our free CMS template, and we're going to get it prepped and ready to start taking these articles. All right, so in the description, you're going to find a link, and it's going to bring you to this page, and we are going to be able to scroll through what is known as clonable CMS website templates. And you can get and use any of these totally for free and publish them. So I have spent a fair bit of time scrolling through these sites, until I found one that I thought would be perfect for the example I'm trying to put together. What you'll find with the link, it's going to bring you to this page here. And what you need to do is click this button here, Open in Webflow. So you might be wondering why I've selected this template. There's a couple of reasons. The first one is it uses a database for content management, which is key for what we're trying to do. It also uses templates to dynamically create pages based on the data in the database. When we import our data, we can generate 100 new pages, 1,000 new pages, basically instantly. I've just opened up the design editor for our template here. Basically, up the top here on this little icon here, you've got pages. So this shows the static pages. These ones here, these are the CMS collection pages. So this is what I'm talking about when I refer to the dynamic content, and we're going to add an extra one here to take the blog posts. And to do that, we just click on this little icon here, CMS, and you'll see to add a new collection, we just click on the icon here, create a new collection, and you'll see there is a bunch of buttons across the top. All we want to do to create the blog post template is just click on this one, and you'll see that it instantly generates some basic info and a bunch of custom fields like the post body, post summary, main image, thumbnail, featured, and color. So you can modify or change any of these. You can also add new fields if you want, video or whatever it is, add a file, links, etc. So that is all pretty straightforward. So I'm going to press create on this collection because we are going to need that. Okay, now we've got our database set up for our blog posts. If we click on this one here so we can see the blog post template, you'll see that there's nothing here. So I'm going to go away and build this template, and then basically we are all done on the Webflow front. Okay, so I've made the required changes to the website. If we click on destinations here now, if we scroll down a bit, all of this is bound to our database. So this image is coming from our database, contents from the database, and it is all set up. If I click on learn more, this image will come from the database, and so will the text. So everything is set up. We can jump over to the actual design editor and we can take a quick look. This is the template that has been set up, and we can also take a look at the destinations one as well. And you can see down here, if I click on this image, click on this little link here, you can see get the main image from the blog post. So everything is bound, everything's ready to be dynamically generated. Alrighty, so we've finished our step 2 of the process. We've set up our CMS website, so we can give that a tick. Next, we jump over to step 3. What we're going to do is going to set up a folder, and it's going to listen for our files that is generated by step 1, our tool, and it is going to post them over to the database. So let's take a look at the scenario. So using a tool called Make, we can set up what's called a scenario, and scenario is going to take our content and it is going to transform it into what we want, add an image to it, and post it over into Webflow. So let's take a look at how we set up Google Drive to make this happen. So in terms of setting up the Google Drive, it's pretty straightforward, except there is one really important catch.
Cannot stress this enough.
Just set up a folder and set the permissions to share with anyone with a link. And the link who you're going to be sharing with is actually the Make integration tool. And if you don't set it to sharing, the entire process is going to fail. Okay, unless you've used Make before, you're probably going to end up with a screen like this when you press Start a New Scenario. So once you get to this screen, what you want to do is add these modules in, and then we're going to hook them all up and make them work. So the first one is we need Google Drive. And what we're going to do with that one is we're going to watch files in a folder, and it says it triggers when a file is created or modified in a selected folder. So we'll just get that one and we'll put it here for now. Next, we're going to grab this one. It's called HTTP. And what we need to do with this one is get a file. So it downloads a file from a given URL. So we'll grab that one. Next, we're going to grab the Markdown tool. And so it's going to convert Markdown to HTML. And next, I'm going to grab Unsplash here. So we'll grab Unsplash and we will look for a random image. And within this tool, we will set this up in a minute. And the last one we need is Webflow, so we can send it across. And this one here is create an item in a collection. So we'll just put that on the end here. So that is how we add all the tools we need. Now we'll go back to Google Drive and we're going to set these up one by one. So with the Google Drive module in Make, when you add it, it's going to ask you a few questions. And so this is the standard setup. When it asks you to do the connection, it'll walk you through how to connect both. So you just authenticate it and pretty much you're done. And the other settings that I've got set here is watch files. Watch them by created time. It's my drive, and under my drive, the folder was called monitoring. Watch all file types, and I've limited it to 1000. So that is it. It's all pretty straightforward. The next one is we need to get this file. So if I click on this, what I'm looking for here is it's called Web Content Link. And so once this one is set up, it is going to show all the available data it can grab. And this is the one you're looking for. So this one is nice and easy. The next step here is we've got Markdown. The reason we want to do this is we want to convert the Markdown text that's coming out of the Python code, the blog articles, and convert them to HTML. If it's HTML, it'll render correctly and we don't have to do any other formatting. So this one's pretty easy. Again, once this is set up properly, you will see an element called data. That's all you need to do. Just select that one and you are done. The next tool here, Unsplash. So if I click on this one here, you can actually set up an Unsplash account. It will give you an API key. Once you've got that, if you set this to search for a random photo, you can actually narrow down the kind of photo it'll return. So if you go into Unsplash, you can click on any kind of collection you want. So if you wanted tropical islands, London, Paris, New York, whatever, there are collection IDs and you'll see them in the URL. All you need to do is copy the collection ID and paste it in here. The other thing, because I want this image to be like the hero image or a thumbnail, I want to use the orientation, which is landscape, and I only actually want it to return one image. I could set up multiples of these, so it'll bring in multiple images based on my collection or my criteria, but for now I've just got that set to one. And finally, the final connection over to Webflow. So it will ask you to connect and authenticate to your Webflow site. So just make sure that you have your Make web browser open on the same browser as Make. And when you open it up, it's just going to ask you to authorize that connection. And then you can see how we've mapped it through. So once your authentication is done, choose your method. I've got from a list. I selected the site. The collection is the blog posts. The name, we can grab that from the Google Drive. We get the name of the file. The post body, that's our HTML from Markdown. And the URL, these are coming from Unsplash. And pretty much that's it. With all this in place, we're good to go. We can start generating our files. They will drop into the Google Drive and they will automatically post over to our site. Okay, time to run our test. I'm just over here in the CMS collection. Just want to show you that there is 5 already in here, and that's required to build out the dynamic pages, make sure they all work. This is the Make integration, all ready to go. I've just got to make sure there is a file in the Google Drive. Okay, so here is the file in the Google Drive, so it's all ready to go. I'm going to bring in this text file, and this was generated using our Python script. All we have to do is press run once to test it, and hopefully it'll bounce between all these modules and successfully post. So let's see what happens. And that's it, it's done. It only took about 1 second. So let's go over to Webflow and we'll just refresh this. Okay, just click on CMS, blog posts, and there is our article ready for publishing. And with one click, that's live, all done. Okay, this is where it all comes together. Now I could run this Python file, but it's going to take a couple of days because there is about 11,000 blog posts to run through and generate them all in sequence. So I've taken a copy of this file and I've trimmed it down a bit so it's things to do in these places with these audiences. The other couple of things to note before I press run on this is I've set the maximum articles to 20. This is the prompt. You can adjust this to meet your own needs. And that is it. We are good to go. Alrighty, so as you can see, all the files generated, no problems. It took around 9 minutes to do the 20 files. So now we just need to move the text files over into the monitoring folder, the Google Drive folder, and then press run on our scenario. That's it. So I've just copied the files over into the monitoring folder here, all 20. Now we just hit run on our scenario. Okay, with a bit of luck, this works. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it actually completed 19, and the reason for that is when I moved the text files over into that folder, the previous one was already in there. It had the same name. It was a duplicate, and it removed it. So that is actually correct. So let's go and have a look at Webflow and see if the extra 19 are there. So we'll just press refresh on this, and we should have a total of 25 blog articles in our CMS. And there they are. So if we'd kick this off for 10,000, it would run for 6.9 days, and then we can publish them. So if I actually want to publish these, all I need to do is go to publish to selected domains, and that's it. So I've published all the content. I haven't made a lot of changes to this homepage. Most of the work has gone into setting up the blog CMS and those dynamic templates. So let's take a look at how the content comes out. So over on the destination pages, this is the one for things to do in Phuket, Thailand for families. And this is the content that's come straight out of the Python script that is automated and generates this content at scale. And as we've been through, you can modify the prompt to generate whatever it is you like. You can also modify this template or use another template, one of the other free clientable ones, and, go for it. Make whatever it is you want to do in your niche. But the point is, the entire process works from end to end. What does dominating your niche look like? So if we're going to use this approach of generating content at scale, which builds topical authority at Google, it's worth taking a look at what the end game might look like. This website here is called theurbanlist.com, and you can see they're monetizing this site in a number of ways, including selling the ad space along the banner here and down the side. And down the bottom of this page, they've also got a video running, and they're selling more space along the footer area. And if you take a look at SEMrush, you can see this particular site, theurbanlist.com, is getting around 2 million clicks a month from organic traffic, and it's got over 400,000 backlinks. So it's pretty impressive. Okay, let's talk about the OpenAI API key. All Python files that use OpenAI need an API key. If you click on any of the files, you'll see this line or something that looks very similar to it, and it will say, enter your API key here. If you have an OpenAI API key, add it in there, press save, you are good to go. If you don't have one, just head over to openai.com and you can sign up via Try ChatGPT. And also, if you want to know how much this actually costs, we can click on pricing. If we scroll down a little bit, you can see here. So the model in the Python files I've set up, you use GPT 3.5 Turbo, and you can see the pricing here. So basically it's 0.001 per 1,000 tokens, which is about 1,000 words for input, and 0.002 for 1,000 tokens, and that's for the output. So it is extremely cheap. Earlier in the year when I signed up, I did get an $18 US credit. If you do happen to sign up and get a new account, let us know in the comments maybe what the current credit is, so that'll help other people understand as well. Now, if you've got this far in the video, thank you for watching. If you do need some help with your Python script getting any of this set up, head over to the Ambitious channel page, scroll down and have a look at the Python SEO tools playlist. All of these use a similar setup in terms of using Visual Studio, Python, and one of these videos might show whatever challenge you're having a little bit clearer and help you get it resolved and get on your way. If you're still having troubles, you can drop a note in the comment and I'll do my best to respond. But if you need specific case related to something to customize your Python script to make it work for your niche, for your business, you can always head over here to the Patreon page. There will be a link in the description. I hope you got some value from the video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.